Two notes on the start. That first one is, this is early guide. What I mean by early guide, the guide was created on beta server, so it's probably exactly the same in retail, but sometimes beta server works a little bit different. So not like I'm lying and don't understand mechanics, but maybe something is working different. Shouldn't be, but to be sure, check in the description. Always first information in description will be if this guide is actual and everything is true. So check it there. Also, as we just start of new DLC, we are focusing more on gearing and we are usually under geared, going a little bit harder content to just push for that drop gear, and we really focus to finish dungeon, not to push for the time, not to push very high keys. So I'm focusing more on healing and less about some mechanic you need for pushing, like dealing damage or like survival. So everything here is focused more on the healing, but yeah, we want some damage too. Second note I have is that this guy is exactly the same if you have set piece or don't have set piece. Of course, with set piece you are stronger, but you are not changing any rotation difference, any priorities. You always do the same thing with set or without set, just you are weaker without set. So don't worry if you don't have set in season 1 new DLC. It usually takes some time to get your hands on set pieces, so don't worry about it. This is still guide for you. Not many people will have set piece that soon. And of course with that, later I will be doing like more pro high keys, like proper guide for the dungeons. This is more focused on the gearing. Alright, let's go straight for the guide and useful information for rest of the druid. First start with the stats. And usually I opening, but it's from beta server. Stats are quite random on my character. Not many choices you can do with your gear over here. You can, but it's not worth it to spend your time. So, most important stat in rest of the druid is haste, because most of your healing is healing over time effects, and haste is doing what? Increasing healing from healing over time effects. So yeah, most priority, pump that haste. Second is mastery. Note that mastery is only for healing, not for damage or some survival, so later it will drop lower. But second is mastery to just spam your healing, and you will need some healing because rest of the druid is not idle for dungeons, because we lack a lot of burst AoE heals, sadly. So yeah, pump that mastery to just heal enough, or rather heal fast enough. Third start is versatility, just classic improve to everyone. And the very last one is critical, because you don't have many mechanics that do something with your critical on restoration druid. So once again, haste stop. Second, mastery. That's two most primary stats. So usually your gear you want to have haste and mastery. Third one is versatility and critical, usually as low as possible. You can have some, but ideally nothing, because all the stars are just improving as better. Straight for the talent. If you want exactly this talent, link will be in the description. And I'm choosing Windstalker. It's performing better. It's just better. Easy way to say it. It's healing more, it's buffing us more, the other one. And of course there are some variations and depending on dungeons, and maybe you want to tweak a little defensive, but now let's just focus to finish dungeons as fast as possible and as safe as possible. So this is talent's good for almost all situation. Typhoon I've seen is not very popular choice, but I don't understand, because it's really good control. And from start people don't know what to interrupt and stuff like that, so under interrupt of abilities for whole group of enemies, Typhoon is excellent. So let's go straight for the priorities, rotation, gameplay, whatever you want to call it. Two notes over here. First one is, I mentioned it already, we lack burst of AoE healing. Sadly, that's what it is. We cannot do anything about it. Before we had Flourish, that was massive burst of AoE healing. After that we have 2 seasons, we had huge set piece, that was massive burst of healing. Now we have nothing. So don't expect big burst AoE healing, and you will need big burst AoE healing in dungeons in this DLC, as I practice in M+ on beta. So it's not so exciting to play Restoration Druid from that reason. So yeah, we'll be suffering on AoE burst healing because we don't have anything for that. Second thing is your mastery. You need to usually think about your mastery. That means every single healing over time effect on a target is increasing healing on others. I have very low mastery, beta, random stats almost. So don't check these numbers over here. But what mastery is doing, any overtime effect on the target is increasing your other heals. That means even if some healing is really low, it's just a really low hot, is doing nothing, it's still increasing other heals and is increasing healing of better one. So we are not always thinking, oh, this is healing so little, this is healing so much. We are also thinking about, this is healing so little, but it's another healing overtime effect that is increasing my better abilities. Alrighty, let's go on priorities. First topmost priority is Life Bloom. Life Bloom, healing overtime effect on the end of duration, big heal. We can have 2 Life Blooms maximum. Which targets we should choose? Usually one is tank, and second target is ranged DPS. Preferably we are not using it ourselves, because from our Life Bloom we want to proc photosynthesis, that's 4% chance for additional bloom. So not only on end of duration, but also during the duration of Life Bloom. If you put it on yourself, it cannot bloom, but you have periodic heals increased by 10%. This was 20%, now it's only half. So before even we could argue it's worth it for some AoE healing, because most of our healing is overtime effects, so this would be great, but now it's nerfed by 50%, that is massive nerf. So we always just use it on other targets because that percentage was not nerfed, so it's still same as power as before, and before it was already questionable if we should use it on ourselves. So never on yourself. In case you are the only one who is dying, yes, put it yourself, because Life Bloom is massive heal. So in the case you are the only one who is dying, put it yourself. If everybody is dying AoE damage, then put it on other targets. Of course, you can change this Life Bloom depend on which targets are dying the more. So what's with that extra blooms? Alright, bloom is that big heal on end of duration. Now we can get that extra bloom with any overtime effect on a targeted Life Bloom. It's 4% chance. It's not much, but we have many healing overtime effects. That means the more healing overtime effects we have on targets with Life Bloom, the more chance it got to bloom. And that bloom is not only great single target heal, but after Life Bloom blooms, it's healing through verdancy. And verdancy is healing up to 3 targets in your efflorescence. So any bloom happens, people who are standing in efflorescence will get some healing. And that's also another reason why I said one Life Bloom on ranged DPS, because ranged DPS are usually not standing in your efflorescence that you should put under the enemy, and tank should be standing there, usually melee DPS, you, because you care about your healing, DPS usually don't, and ranged are often standing outside your efflorescence. That's why you put Life Bloom on them, because Life Bloom is strong heal, and it will be keeping them safe. And other targets are standing in efflorescence, so they are getting more heal from other mechanics. So that's why I prefer with second Life Bloom that is not on tank, I prefer on ranged DPS. In a case tank is absolutely chill, like a Death Knight, let's say, because Death Knight is just healing himself, he is chilling. Just put 2 Life Blooms on ranged DPS if it's AoE damage. There's still a few more mechanics with Life Bloom, so let's continue. When you use a Life Bloom, well, not when you use, when you have applied Life Bloom, it's counting as 3 hots for your mastery. It's from down over here. So Life Bloom is already counting as 3 hots on the target. So you have already huge increase healing on the target with Life Bloom. Also, it's increasing for Life Bloom, but of course for other abilities too. Another mechanic, our Life Bloom healing. This is another 4% chance, but this 4% chance is not from every hot on the target, as we have from extra bloom. This is just from healing of Life Blooms. And after this 4% chance proc, we getting clear casting buff, and with that clear casting, we are casting our next regrowth free of mana cost, and also is increased its healing by 30%. And talking about regrowth have additional mechanic that after you use regrowth, its healing overtime effect will also spread on the target with Life Blooms. So Life Bloom, many mechanics, very important too. I have some logs from the dungeon. It's almost first in healing, 60% overheal even, because I always keep Life Bloom on. So to proc other mechanics even when it's overhealing on one target. It can proc Verdancy through the blooms and heal all the targets and give you clear casting that increase your healing, blah blah blah. So Blind Bloom is even worth to just non-stop keep uptime on 2 targets because it's empowering other mechanics too, not only healing as its own, but yes, it's massive heal. Alright, so topmost priority, keep 2 life blooms, 1 tank, 1 ranged DPS usually. Then depend who is getting more damage, who is getting less damage. Next one, we have Efflorescence. I already talked about it a little. So this is our circle on the ground. Most of the time we want to keep this up under the group, hitting as many targets as possible. Don't keep using it if you are moving a lot, because after you use this ability, you spend quite a lot of mana is for 30 seconds, so if you are moving every few seconds on a new spot, just forget it, but usually keep it under the group, keep it placed there. So what is Efflorescence doing? It's healing. It won't heal much, but it's got, as usual, other mechanics, other synergies, so let's dig into that. If I check logs, it's usually, here's Efflorescence, but here's the Verdancy that is healing targets in Efflorescence. So already just Verdancy is healing more than actually Efflorescence, so its healing is not that important. We are using Efflorescence to heal through Verdancy. Then Efflorescence is also giving very big healing over time effects. It's 12,000, it's absolutely nothing. You check logs, it's down, that's different here. It's 1% of healing, it's still something, but we don't care about amount that hot is healing, because what? It's our mastery. It's additional hot and it's increasing all other heals. So when somebody is standing in Efflorescence, he's getting healed more because he got that healing over time effects. So yeah, we don't care how little it is, it's increasing other heals. Now let's dig a little bit more to hero talents. So we have chance to apply symbiotic blooms, that's another healing over time effect on the target. And that healing over time effect have chance to proc from wild growth, regrowth and Efflorescence. So Efflorescence is another mechanic that have chance to proc your symbiotic blooms. Is over here, is in decent. Of course, this is not just proc from Efflorescence, but another reason why we want to always keep that circle down, and we don't care its official original healing is that low because it's many other mechanics that makes it important. So these 2 priorities we want to have prepared before the damage came. Almost always we want to have this prepared. Efflorescence on the ground and 2 life blooms on 2 targets. That is not us. Now we actually need to start healing, or health of our group is not 100%, it starts dropping. So first thing we are starting to use as reaction for damage taking in the group is Groove Guardian. It's really cheap mana, short cooldown, very effective. It's not overhealing, it's choosing perfect targets. So it's just amazing ability. Always click it, and it's off global cooldown. You are not even wasting some time by spawning it. It's completely off global cooldown. It's amazing. So what they are doing, after you use Groove Guardian, they will cast Swiftment, they will cast Wild Growth, that's AoE heal, Swiftment is single target heal, and then until their duration ends, they will be casting Nourish. If you use it on some specific target, the first regrowth, or rather Swiftment, will be on the target. It casted on me because this is not player. But first Swiftment will be on that target, but after that they will choose their target on themselves. So you cannot just say to that tree, heal only this target. No, they will be choosing their target. But don't worry about that, because they are choosing their targets really well. Its casting ability, what they are spamming, is Nourish, and that is increased 300% with their mastery. So they are choosing targets that have healing over time effects already to increase their healing. And they are also choosing targets that are low on health. So don't worry about them, they are really good at choosing good targets. Can I find their Nourish healing? Look, it's just 15% overheal. They are really good at choosing good targets. So what I usually do with them, I have some enemy target, because I'm just doing damage, and I will just release 3. That means all the abilities, they will choose who to target, and it's completely fine, because they are really good at it. Sometimes some very special situations, it can be better to just choose which target, but usually they know what they are doing and they will heal it good, so just fire them and forget about what they are doing. Also with that abilities, what they are casting, you should think about that they are obviously much weaker than your abilities, usually some 25% of your power. So don't think this is, ooh, I'm healing double because he's doing something to non-stop casting. It's like 25% of your power. But yeah, first sign of damage happening in a group. Group Guardian, very cheap, very effective, and quite smart, which targets they are healing. Alright, let's move on to the next priority. We have Swiftment. Much more important than even before it was quite important too. Swiftment, strong single target heal, really strong single target heal, but also he is increasing other healing, many more mechanics. Let's dig in. If we are using Swiftment, we need to have some rejuvenation, regrowth or biogrowth on the target. Why? Because before it was consuming these effects, so it was eating some healing over time effect, and that's why we could cast it as Swiftment. So I'm trying to use it now, you can do that yet. Now it's not eating them, but even extending. So don't worry, you are not eating any healing over time effect, but because of that reason, you still need to have some healing over time effect from these 3 HUDs on the target, so we can use that Swiftment. Alright, we use the Swiftment, huge single target heal, but also we are applying 2 healing over time effects. One healing over time effect is group tending, so Swiftment heals the target over 9 seconds. Another HUD is from hero talent, so your Swiftment causes a symbiotic bloom to grow on the target for 8 seconds. That's our chance, what we are proccing with effluence already, so this is 100% when you use Swiftment. So additional healing already applied, and that healing over time effects again, they are increasing other heals too. But that's barely everything. We are getting buff after you use Swiftment. That's Soul of the Forest, and that is increasing our next heal. So regular rejuvenation is increased by 150%, and wild growth is increased by 50%. That's another reason why we are using Swiftment often, because we're empowering our next ability. Which one to use, it's of course matter what healing we are required right now. Wild growth for AoE healing, regrowth for faster single target. Rejuvenation, it's not worth it as much, prefer regrowth with that. To do nice burst single target healing is also good to combine after you get that 150% increase healing from your Swiftment. You can also increase next regrow healing with nature Swiftness by another 100%. That means it's 150% plus 100%. That equals, bam, 3.2 millions. It was critical too, I think. I'm not completely sure because when you're healing yourself, these numbers are a little bit scuffed. But massive single target healing because it's 150, and after it's multiplied by 150%, this again multiplied by 100%. So it's not like multiplied by 250. It's adding multiple times, that means it's even better. This mechanic I already mentioned a little. Now when we use Swiftment, it's not consuming any healing over time effect, but it's also extending any healing over time effects by 8 seconds. It's not extending driving growth. So if you have symbiotic blooms, for some reason this is only HUD that cannot be extended. That's just how it works. Who cares? So not everything, apart from this single one. Don't worry, it won't be that important. And the last mechanic with Swiftment is that every single use we do, getting a stack of reforestation. It's down over here. So every 3 casts of Swiftment grants you Incarnation Tree of Life for 10 seconds. That's our talent. It's increasing our healing and is increasing some effective of some other abilities. So rejuvenation is healing more, costing less. Regrowth is instant. That's usually what we are thinking about it. And when we have Tree of Life and increasing all your healing by 10%. It got nerfed. It's weaker than before. So now we are choosing Convoke instead of Tree of Life, and Convoke is also buffed. So before we had also cooldown as a 3, now we are just getting 3 for reforestation. So another reason we want to use Swiftment almost on cooldown to just get another stack of reforestation. If you can plan it, that 3rd stack of reforestation to some burst healing, that's absolutely amazing. So yeah, Swiftment, many mechanics, we want to use it. Often similar as Life Bloom, it's many synergies and mechanic is very important abilities. Moving on, next priority we have Scenario Ward. So Scenario Ward will give you buff on 30 seconds. After target will get any type of damage in that 30 seconds, it will apply strong single target HUD on the target. Classic. But it's quite fast healing hot, so not like usual others that are healing over 20 seconds. This one is over 8 seconds, so it's quite fast healing over time effects. Use it on lowest health targets from the group for more spot healing, or just put it on the tank before he's pulling a new pack. It will be activated first time he got damage, so it's amazing timing for it, and it will just keep him a little bit more safe in the first crucial second that he's thinking more about getting aggro on enemies than just thinking about his own defensives. Little know about Scenario Ward. It's massive if you can use Swiftman on it, because it's healing over 8 seconds, and Swiftman is extending duration of HOTS by 8 seconds. That means if you use Swiftman on activated Scenario Ward, it's doing nothing with that buff. If he is not already activated and healing over time, it will extend another 8 seconds. That means it will double healing from that. So it's amazing to then combine it with Swiftman. It will literally double amount of healing from the ability. Once again, we are moving on. Next priority. So this one depends more which you are healing, single target or AoE. On AoE, we are casting our Wildgrowth. It's heal for 5 targets. It's much weaker than it was before. We don't even choose other talents to empower it, because we don't even have a big flourish that was quite still improving Wildgrowth healing by a lot. So now we just click it and forget about it, because it's not that huge as before. Before it was much higher than that. But yeah, it's still decent AoE heal. Ideally, we want to have Soul of the Forest for another extra healing to juice from Wildgrowth, 50% increase. It's very great. And Wildgrowth also have chance to proc our Symbiotic Blooms. That's another healing over time effect. Yeah, at least not many other mechanics over here, so yeah, there is AoE casting Wildgrowth ideally with the buff, and it also have chance to proc our hero talent, another healing over time effect. And then when it's single target healing, or it's still AoE, but we already use Wildgrowth, we are spamming regrowths. Previous DLC we didn't spam regrowth, it was not worth it now. You can go ham on that, okay, with the set pieces, because it was some brutal effect with it, but it was not about the regrowth, it was about that the nourishes he was casting with the clear casting of regrowth. Now we are just spamming regrowths. You can already see from Dungeon its first ability in the healing. So regrowth, it's our pump. So let's dig more into regrowth, what it's doing. So strong instant single target heal, and then it got paired with healing over time. But healing over time effect is minimal. Well, not completely minimal, but it's less than single target initial heal. It's less than half. So 2/3, let's say 2/3 of healing is initial, then the healing over time effect. Its initial heal is a little bit more than a rejuvenation total overall healing over duration. So it's just more worth it than rejuvenation. It's costing a little bit more mana, but yeah, it's healing more, and there is a little bit more mechanic about it. It's just a rejuvenation, so yeah, better. So what extra tricks can Regrowth do? When you cast it, its HOT will also spread on the targets with Life Bloom. We know that already. Then if we use Regrowth on a target that have Regrowth already applied, its initial heal have another 40% chance to do critical hit. That's huge, because it's compensating our lack of burst healing. So if we need to heal over fast some single target or AoE, we have regrowths after one cast on 3 targets already, and we can just keep recasting it to just pump some healing really fast. Of course, it will be a little bit more mana taxing, but it's the only thing we can do, so we are just going for it. Another mechanic is, once again, this is our third ability that can spawn our Symbiotic Blooms on the target. So potential how much you will heal one regrowth, it's more with this proc. And I forgot to mention that Symbiotic Blooms is also increased healing your spells do to the targets by 20%. It's not only healing over time, any heal. So these procs are quite important, because it's really strong healing over time effect. As not healing that much, but increasing 20% healing, that's very good. Another mechanic we already mentioned once, then Life Bloom is healing, then we can have next regrowth free of mana cost and healing more. So just pay attention if you have some pop-up. It's showing on default Blizzard UI. Maybe I can force it, but it's just RNG 4% chance, so maybe you won't see it. Then regrowth is better and free of mana cost. You really want to cast it because it's completely free. Well, and healing more. Everything nice. At the last spot of our priority list is rejuvenation. Its healing is under regrowth. It cannot proc our hero talents, it cannot give us some symbiotic blooms, but it's still got use as it's increasing healing of other abilities. It can make Life Bloom to bloom at 4% extra chance, and is also a good way to compensate our lack of AoE burst healing, also single target burst healing. So before that burst healing is coming, you can spread some rejuvenations, and then they are healing without you wasting time on them when that actual burst healing will be required. So something we will prepare before hard phases. On overall, it won't do much, but again, it's increasing other heals, and it's something we can prepare before we will be using more useful abilities, because there won't be time for these weaker heals. So it should be, yeah, it's down quite a lot of auto heal, also because I'm preparing it before the burst damage. So it's additional, but it's not something big you need to think about. Just prepare it when some burst damage is happening and you want to heal it a bit faster. So it's just for that reason. Otherwise, we are just using regrowths instead of rejuvenations. Alright, now a little summary of our priorities with so many details. So we want always have prepare Life Blooms and Efflorescence under the group. These two should be always prepared. Then we are moving on with our Group Guardians. They are very effective. So leave them, they will start healing. After that, always be using Sweepment, because it's very strong, very cheap on mana, and many abilities around it. So very powerful ability to use Sweepment. After that, Scenario Novart, because we want to use the as often as possible. That's for spot healing single targets. After that, if AoE is required, we are casting Wild Growth. And then, if single target is required or Wild Growth is already casted, we are just spamming regrowths. That's our bread and butter. Spam regrowths. Go, cast them, cast them, cast them, cast them, cast them. You will love it, because many people love to just spam regrowths. They did it in previous DLC, but now it's actually good, and the way how we do it, so just go for it. And last priority, rejuvenation, to just increase your healing by a little and also prepare for some harder burst healing phases. Okay, let's go on the cooldowns. We have almost nothing because we don't have anything. That's why our burst AoE sucks, because we don't have anything. I already talked a little about Nature Swiftness. It's making your next regrowth instant, free of mana cost, and healing 100% more. So this is some way how to really hit spot healing single target fast. So somebody is very low, use Swiftman on him. That's increasing 150 healing on his regrowth. Then we use Nature Swiftness, another 100%, bam. This is 2,200,000 without critical, massive heal. It can be also used for instant combat res or instant roots, but best use is regrowth. Another not so important cooldown is Head of the Wild. Just use it for increase your damage. It's nothing for your healing, it's actually increasing your damage. If you are in a kitty, then you have physical damage increased by 20%, and you are generating one combo point every 2 seconds. So we're usually using for a kitty, but also if you are casting bounce spells, so they are casting faster by 30% and damage increased by 20%. Before we needed to be in owl form, we don't have Moonkin anymore, so they changed the text on it, so now it's increasing our balance spells. So don't worry, you are not in some form. Now they change it, it's increasing balance spell, you don't need to be in balance form. But for kitty, you need to be in kitty to increase that physical damage and getting combo point regeneration. Also for special use, it can be if you have perform, your stamina is 20% increase. So if you really need to survive some ability, you can combine it, click it, and then you use perform, and you have more health by 20% than you would normally have in the perform. So it also can be used for surviving some insta kills. And now about our actual cooldown. That's only cooldown, only, let's say, burst we have, and it's our Convoke. They buff it, that's nice. It's a really decent buff. It's by 50% increase how many abilities it will cast. Before it was casting 8 abilities, now it's casting 12 abilities. They increase that number by 4. So this is our only way how to do some burst healing. The problem is Convoke is highly random. And that's what it is. It's highly random. Sometimes it will heal completely whole group to full, and sometimes it will do almost nothing. So we cannot just put life of our group, life of our players to some RNG ability, but we have no other choice. This is the only way we can do some actual strong burst healing, but it's just RNG. That's why Druid don't feel good in the dungeons, because we really lack some burst AoE healing. But yeah, if you need to heal more, and right now we are clicking Convoke. If we don't need it for healing, we can use it for damage, ideally in kitty form. On AoE would be better to use Monkin form, Oval, whatever, but we don't have that form anymore with the Restoration Druid, so for damage just kitty form. Ideally for healing you want to time it when you have your 3 of life, so you have your 3 procs of Reforestation, but if you didn't plan it like that, you just click it and it will start healing, hopefully, and that would be enough from healing. Everything is alright, Druid is healing great, you are just really lack some boost of healing. Boost of single target healing is not that bad, because you can apply many hots on the target, so your regular initial heal will be massive, but when it's AoE you are quite lost with the rest of it, that's why it doesn't feel good in the dungeon. And I was trying beta, hopefully they will add something that will compensate our lack of burst healing. I don't know, maybe some way to increase value of healing when you are in dungeon. I don't know. Let Blizzard think about it. What do I know? Okay, on the end, as usual, something about our damage, so let's move to target dummies. I will start with single target, then you will just move on from that single target rotation to apply damage over time effects on multiple targets, and then it's like line, and you are doing just AoE rotation. So, let's start from a single. You want to always keep Moonfire, Sunfire on the target, then you want to keep our Rake from the cut form, and you also want to keep a Rip applied. So, we have 4 debuffs, and this is our hero talent proc. So we have 2 from Balance, we have 2 bleeds from Kitty. After all the targets we are fighting have already Rake, we replace a Rake with a Shred. They are combo point generators. And then after all the targets have already Rip, we are replacing a Rip with a Ferocious Bite that is consuming our combo points, these 2 abilities. So when we are fighting more enemies, we are spreading these hots on multiple targets. Everybody will get bleed, then everybody will get a rape. I don't need any more rakes, so I'm just using shreds. I misclicked wrong ability because I moved my beans a little. So we are using shreds. If everybody have a rip, we are spending Ferocious Bite. The more targets you have, the less is worth to use this single target bleeds and damage over times like Moonfires, that is just single target. It's less worth it the more targets you have. It's hard to say what is exactly cut that is not longer worth it, these abilities, because another mechanic with the Rake is that is applying a chance to apply that hero talent bleeds. So it's also quite important. You can see here it is, additional Bloodseeker Vines, so it's bleeding more. It's hard to try that because you don't have any target dummy numbers. You can try any dungeons as a healer. Try your DPS, it's not ideal because here you need to heal, there you need to heal, so you are wasting DPS. So it's hard to say what is exactly cut out. Let's say it's like 8+ targets, where it's not longer interesting or worth it to do single target bleeds and damage over times, or even just Ferocious Bite. In that case, we want to just apply Sunfire, and we are casting Starfire. We have Swipe in the kitty, but the problem with Swipe is you will spend energy quite fast, and then you have nothing to do, so just Sunfire and Starfire. If you have some priority target, like one target needs to die faster than others, or one target have much more health than others, of course, apply that single target bleeds and dots on the target, and the rest just keep cleaning with the AoE. Let's go back to single target or few targets rotation. I forgot to mention after we have all debuffs ticking on the targets, and we have no remaining energy in the kitty for additional shreds, then we are just casting Wrath, 1 or 2 targets, or 3 more targets we are casting Starfire. And with that was everything I want to say about Rest Druid. It's fine, it's healing enough, it's just really lacking burst of heal. So hopefully something will happen with that, because there is really many situations in these new dungeons you need to do some AoE burst healing. So we will see. Anyway, if you prefer to have guide in text form, you can find exactly this guide on my Discord. When I'm recording video, I'm just guiding by my text what is there. So link is in the description. Also, if you have any questions, just don't hesitate, ask me, I will be happy to answer. And thank you for watching. Goodbye.